An independent senator from Vermont who caucuses with the Democrats. Sir, it's great to have you here. And so let's look back at this. After voting to hike taxes for higher income earners in this country, Republicans say that the revenue debate, that's over. It's behind them. However, the president, Leader Pelosi, and even you are now ready to go after corporations that in some cases pay no taxes at all. House Speaker John Boehner has signaled a mild openness to closing loopholes. Do Democrats smell blood in the water here? And is that where this potential is coming from, to keep these talks open and running?
Well, Thomas, it's not smelling blood in the water. What it is looking at reality. And the reality is that we have growing wealth and income inequality in America. People on top and large corporations doing phenomenally well, middle class disappearing, poverty levels at an all-time high. What we know is 1 out of 4 major American corporations don't pay a nickel in federal taxes. We're losing about $100 billion every single year by corporations and wealthy people stashing their money in tax havens, Cayman Islands, Bermuda, and elsewhere. Corporations today are paying about 12% of their profits in taxes. That's the lowest rate since 1972. So the question that we have to debate as a nation is deficit reduction is a very important point. But we have to understand that today at 15.7%, our revenue as part of GDP is the lowest that it has been in 60 years. So when Senator McConnell says revenue is not the issue, he is dead wrong. Revenue is very much the issue. The American people have been very clear. They do not want to cut Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid. They do want to ask the wealthy and large corporations to pay more in taxes.
But, sir, there is an issue, though, with spending in the country when it comes to other issues outside of earned entitlements. When we look at what we're seeing being spent in this country, and John Boehner, in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, has gone on to say that, in reference to the fiscal cliff negotiations, we have a very serious spending problem. And the paper says he repeated this message so often that toward the end of the negotiations, the president became irritated and said, "I'm getting tired of hearing you say that." Do you agree, though, that Washington does have a spending problem? And let's not talk about earned entitlements, but a spending problem that liberals and progressives refuse to fix?
No, I don't think we refuse to look at it. We are spending a lot of money. That's true. You know why we're spending a lot of money? Because we are in the midst of a terrible Wall Street-caused recession where real unemployment is close to 15%. And if we do not expand the food stamp program, children in America go hungry. And if you do not provide unemployment compensation, workers will be out on the street having lost everything. Historically, what happens when you're in the midst of this terrible, terrible recession, and again, real unemployment, close to 15%, what the American society has got to do as a society is take care of people in need. As the economy improves, as fewer people are on unemployment, those spending programs should go down. But you can't leave fellow Americans out there on the street.
You talk about the terrible recession, though, but, sir, does that mean that we should gear up and be prepared for the brink of a government shutdown, being pushed to the edge once again? And if you're saying that Wall Street is causing this, aren't you guys sending Wall Street the message of the fact that the government is going to be shut down, the debt ceiling issue is going to be a problem, we're not going to pay our bills, and we're going to potentially have more damage to our credit rating?
No, that's not my point. I think it's absolutely absurd that any Republican or anybody would say that the United States of America is not going to pay their debt. The president is absolutely right. That has to be taken off of the table. We need a real debate about, A, how we create the millions of jobs that this country desperately needs. And by the way, Thomas, when you create jobs and create taxpayers and people are contributing revenue, then your deficit is going to go down. Second of all, we have to deal with deficit, but in a way that is fair, not on the backs of people who are already hurting. 1 out of 4 corporations doesn't pay a nickel in federal income taxes. That's wrong.
Independent Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont. Sir, as always, great to have you on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.